Hi, Woodsy here. I'm gonna be making a little video talking about my thoughts on the Splatoon 3 trailer so far. It's a little bit late, especially for the first one, but since I've been gone from competitive scene and playing and coming back now, so now's the time to do it. So without further ado, let's get into this. For the first trailer is not too much for me to talk about. I'm mostly gonna be focusing on the multiplayer side of things, by the way, and how that may play into competitive. Although, I do like this dude just standing in front of the camera, kind of looking dead at the ceiling. I love the customization options this game has. It's nice they added more hairstyles later in Splatoon 2, but there's definitely way more options here, and I appreciate that a lot. And the gear we've seen so far has been good too. I'm just not gonna say much other than that I like it. We've got the new spawn platform. There is like a little spawn area here, but the other maps we've seen so far don't have that, and it is covered up. So I'm assuming it's just a prop meant to make the map look like a rundown version of an older map, or not necessarily a version of the older map, but it's supposed to look like a map that used to have a spawn point, but they stopped using it or something like that. But I do like this new spawn feature. I'm a little bit worried about how it will be for casual players because there's no more safety bubble. I'm assuming they'll just make it so that you can never get up to this, up to spawn on the maps for this game, but hopefully they don't make it hard for casual players. In a competitive setting, I don't think that makes a difference, though. I do like the new weapon redesigns. Range Blaster looks cool. I really like the chunky little Hydra. Do you want to go back there? Yeah. I like how like short and chunky this is. It gives it more character. But overall, it's mostly we've got the new bow, which it looks like it shoots horizontally while it's standing on the ground and shoots vertically while it goes in the air, from what I can tell. But that's just speculating. Because every time you see it shoot vertically, it's jumping. And I think you do see it shooting horizontally, standing on the ground. So that's just my guess. We don't know for sure, but that's pretty much all I have to say on bow until we see more about it. I think it's an interesting idea, but we need more information to really know how good it will be. No, of course, I do like the Dynamo redesign as well. I didn't talk about that, even though I play Dynamo. But talking about the two specials that we actually got shown a decent amount, we had the new whale, wherever that was. Yeah, here. Here we got the new whale. It seems to target people, which I'm not sure if it's going to have the circular reticle like missiles do, or if it's just going to, like, you set it down, and if there's anyone that direction, it targets them. If not, it just kind of goes straight, maybe. Which, there's a chance missiles will be back, so if missiles are back, I kind of hope it has the second option, because missiles would have the target reticle, whereas these would have maybe some other benefit, like the fact that it's constant damage rather than being missiles that you can pretty easily dodge at a high level. But it's definitely better than Ray. Being automated means that you're going to be able to figure out how to dodge it, and it's not going to be like people predicting your movements like you can with Ray. I still actually don't like it, just from, I don't like having a special that shoots through walls and has infinite range and all that stuff, but having it being automated, it's much better than having it being manual. And it's also better for playing the game, because you can just set it down and keep playing rather than stand there for 8 seconds aiming a laser at the other side of the map. Not even looking at one, like looking at a wall using a laser. I mean, a lot of good raid players would open their map, and just standing there staring at your map isn't really the most interesting way of using a special. Oh, and then we also had the new Inkzuka. It looks like they call it Trizuka. It seems like it's about the same, but maybe a little bit weaker, which would balance with the rest of the game, I'm assuming. But this is where we see missiles, which I do think it's very much possible that these are just assets from the previous game, and this is an early build of the game. Well, they just kind of filled in the special slot with missiles and aren't actually planning on putting it in the game. Because we do actually see the old range blaster in a shot here. So they have moved assets from the previous game over while doing testing and whatnot. So it's entirely possible missiles are like that too, where it's not actually going to be in the final game. It's just kind of there as part of the demo that they're using right now. And since they haven't actually said anything about it, even though they've made Twitter posts about every single other special they've announced, I'm still pretty skeptical, but it is possible. The good thing is that if missiles come back, they might bring back Ultra Stamp. And I do think, because of the weapons it was put on, like Booyah Bomb got some pretty good weapons that were used competitively, but Hammer was like Tent, and then Sploosh on Rainmaker. You don't really see Hammer on competitive, and I would like to see it come back to get better use out of it. It just felt underutilized in Splatoon 2. I really like Hammer. Ultra Stamp, whatever you want to call it. So if missiles are coming back, I hope Ultra Stamp come back. If not, I do think it would be better not to bring back missiles, but they'd be fine. It's tolerable. Here we've got the new map, and then also Museum. I didn't actually play Splatoon 2, so I only hear secondhand that apparently Museum's one of the best maps in the game, but I'm excited to play it at least. And see if I agree or have some hot take about how it's actually bad. Okay, here we do actually see the burst bomb being thrown by the splash. It's a little bit hard to tell, but we can tell it's a splash. And I didn't mention this before, but the bow had the Trizuka and Machine had the new whale. So it's possible they'll redo the specials in subs. They did that for Splatoon 2. You could see, like, I think, actually I don't actually remember what any of the kits were, but they did change some of the kits before Splatoon 2's release. But Splatoon 2 also had less development time, and it was a bit more rushed, since they wanted to get out as soon as possible for the Switch. So I'm personally don't think they're going to change the kits, but it's possible because they did that last time. So we do see the burst bomb on the splash. You see the burst bomb being thrown. Kind of wish you skip like 10 frames at a time instead of single frame at a time, or like 5 seconds. But you see something there, and it's still hard to tell, but that is the splash. And the Clash Blaster got the Crab Tank. I do like the Crab Tank. It's my favorite special so far. I actually kind of hope that when it's balled up, it's completely invincible, kind of like Kraken was in the first game. Because it doesn't do anything while it's like that. It seems like this is the best way of finding a middle ground between having the invincible special of Kraken or having something like Baller that can break. Because in this case, you're outside the crab while you're shooting with it. So in order to deal damage with it, you have to stick your head out. But if they make the ball invincible, which I kind of hope they do, then you're safe while you're rolling around doing nothing. And that seems like the best way of handling a escape special. But it's possible the crab will just be breakable. Now the shield, the shield could be super strong, but I imagine they've already thought of all the issues. Because they've had so much more time to think about than we have. So you do see like this glowy spot on the top. And there's like this thing in the middle. But the glowy spot on the top is what I'm assuming you can break. And I kind of hope you can walk into it from the other team. Because we can see that the blue team can shoot out of it, and he can walk in and out of it. We can see the yellow can't shoot into it. But I think having the yellow be able to walk in and then shoot from the inside is a good way of balancing it. Especially if you can break it from the inside. And then here we actually see a curling bomb. Right there. And we actually see that the 96 cal has splat bomb. I'm guessing the charger doesn't have curling bomb, but maybe it does. So I'm assuming the curling bomb was either on the Clash or on the roller. Which I will say, the roller having the bubble shield, I don't like. It's probably fine. It's definitely going to be better than Splashdown like it has now. But it's definitely not the best special for a short range weapon like roller. Again, it'll probably be fine though. I don't think it's going to be a bad special. I don't think there's going to be any specials that are as bad as putting Splashdown on a weapon, but it doesn't seem like the best. I haven't even talked about the squid hop thing. It's interesting. I like having more options for movement, but I am a little bit worried it'll either completely replace substrafing, or substrafing will just still be better. So I'm hoping they balance in a way where both are good and both are still useful. Yeah, the Splash has our Ninja Boy Zipcaster. I've seen people talk about the Zipcaster looks dumb, and I actually like that about it. It reminds me of like one of those rubbery plastically McDonald's toys you'd get. It's very dumb looking in a way that has a certain charm to it. And as far as the special itself goes, you do see there's like this layer of ink around you. Or it might just be that you're like kind of in squid form, kind of not, but it looks like it might be a layer of ink. Especially since you're all glowy, even after using the special. Though that might just be there for visibility to make it easier to notice them. But I'm wondering if there's going to be some kind of armor over it. Either like Booyah Bomb where you have a layer of armor you have to break before dealing damage, or if it's going to be like what I personally would want to see, where it's a layer of 100 health, and once that goes down, you go back to your landing point here. And they have confirmed that this is the Zipcaster landing point. It's like Inkjet, when it finishes, you go back to the beginning. I do think it'd be a good balancing thing if it had 100 health, but if you lost that health, instead of dying, you just go back to the spot here. Because that would make it way easier to balance it without either being bad because it's too easy to shoot out, or too good because it's too hard to shoot out of this guy. And again, I haven't actually played Museum before, but I'm looking forward to at least seeing it. See what all the hype is about. And here is where it looks like the 96 cal has Splat Bomb. Again, the kits might change, but personally I don't think they will. But you see the 96 is right there. It's a little bit hard to tell, but that is the 96. And you see it swim up here. The Clash is in special, the Charger's way back here. And the roller is, you see the flick like way over there. So the closest one to the Splat Bomb would be the 96, so I'm assuming the 96 has the Splat Bomb. And that's a good thing for 96, because the kits for 96 in Splatoon 2 are kind of bad. like one Sprinkler ink armor, which is pretty good, but Sprinkler isn't ideal. It's just kind of fine, and then armor is good, of course. And the other one has Wall, which is really good in 96, but then has Splashdown. So either have a good special or a good sub. Whereas Splat Bomb is already like a really good option for just anything, especially something like 96 that is a shooter with mid-range. And so you have bombs for long-range threats or to like throw over a ledge you can't see over. But as long as it has something better than Splashdown, which I don't think there's going to be anything as bad as Splashdown, it'll have a better kit than it had in Splat 2. Yeah, I don't really plan on talking about single player, but it looks really good. I'm definitely excited for a single player. I just don't have many thoughts on it because it just looks fun. Alright, Clash. I think I already said that Clash has Crab Tank. Could potentially be really good, which some people might not like, but I imagine if Clash actually has a really good kit, they'll probably balance it around that. So it should be fine. I don't think Clash having Crab Tank will make it any worse than Stingray and armor to deal with. Alright, here. Here it looks... You can see Clash is off screen. And it fires. It explodes there. It swims up. Or that might be the roller. The Clash is standing here. It fires, seems to move back, and the shot goes out this far. Some people are saying that looks like it has longer range, but I think some people don't realize how much range it already has. It's about the same range as the regular blaster. It's longer than Luna. I always thought it was the same as Luna, but when I went and checked it, it was like, wow, it actually has regular blaster range, while also having the widest blast radius of any blaster. So it doesn't look like Clash actually has more range. It just, a lot of people don't seem to realize that Clash already has more range than they might realize. And then Charger doesn't have a line. It's possible that's just something that's not showing in the trailer. But honestly, if Charger doesn't have a line, that's probably better. Because at high level, that doesn't actually make a difference. It just... Like, high level Chargers already have so many ways of minimizing the issue of the targeting line. So all it really does is make it harder for casuals. And making the weapon easier for casuals is probably a good thing because Charger is one of those notoriously hard weapons to play. And on top of that, a lot of the specials seem to be particularly good against Charger. Like Zipcaster just flying at the Charger at the speed of light and then murdering them right next to them. So giving Charger a bit of a buff, I'm perfectly fine with, even though I, like most people, I'm not a Charge player and don't enjoy playing against them. I think it's all the thoughts I have on it so far. I do have some more in-depth things I want to talk about later, but for now, this is going to be it. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.